Mataconda77 very generously gave me a year's worth of subscriptions on Patreon and brings you today's video. Ognis versus Queza, with not an incredible hand, but Robber of the Rich into Wheel of Fortune might be alright. Just a tap land from our opponent, we draw into a riot creature which can come in with haste, so drop a forest and Robber of the Rich. Obviously swing in with that, seeing as how it is a hasty creature. We exiled an island from our opponent. They shock down Watery Grave, and we draw into a Mox Diamond, which means we can go for our commander here. So play out the Ognis, swing in with both creatures again. Going to make a couple of treasure tokens, and Robber of the Rich going to exile something. It exiles a treasure cruise this time. Our opponent goes for Fracture onto the Mox Diamond. We've got access to black mana with the treasures now, so I'm not particularly bothered about that. Then Pongify goes onto the commander, so we will allow that. Draw into Inferno. So we get down the Gruul Spellbreaker here, because we can not crack any treasure tokens there. And then we'll be able to, if we get into a land, have this come in with haste. If we get into a land, we'll be able to get our commander down again. Robber of the Rich gives us access to a Painful Truths this time. Now seeing our opponent's commander come into play, so that makes the Wheel of Fortune worse. Still not getting into a land, that is Magda Brazen Outlaw. So I'm thinking we just hold up Bedevil here, not going to attack in. Our opponent consistently making lands. They get into Alhamret's Archive, so they'll draw double the cards and gain double the life. If we blow up their commander here, then all they need to do is hit a land next turn and they'll be able to get it out again, but we'll force their hand. Or are we going to draw into a land next turn? Yeah, we'll blow up their commander. Weren't going to get into a land anyway, draw into Questing Beast. So it might be time for Wheel of Fortune this turn. We'll swing in with everything. The defending player didn't have more cards in hand than us, so don't exile anything fresh there. Let's play the Wheel of Fortune. Alright, and yeah, we were going to have to go for quite a few cards there until we got into some mana, so anyway, end up getting into it. So that is Mana Crypt, Misty Rainforest. Misty Rainforest grabs us a Bayou. Then we'll play 3 visits and have a mana floating. Shock in an Overgrown Tomb to fix our black mana. And then we can play Farseek for the Triome. And now hopefully, if our opponent doesn't go for a board wipe here, I'm assuming that they're going to go for their commander, we'll be able to get down Ognis next turn and then hold up Plumb the Forbidden in response to any kind of board wipe. Well, that's a Demonic Tutor, so they may well go for a Supreme Verdict here. Instead, going for Dam Overloaded. Noteworthy that previously they did have a Windfall and a Smothering Tithe in play, so I think we got rid of the Quasar just in time and cracked our wheel just in time as well. They just discarded a bunch of lands, Return to Dust, a Dark Deal as well. Draw into another land, so that gives us 2, 4, 6, 8 and 9 mana. So I'm just going to stick to the plan of going for Ognis here. We can make a treasure token, and then might as well play out the Necropotence as well. Plumb the Forbidden isn't anywhere near as good now. Put 5 life into the Necropotence and turn our commander in sideways. And we're getting into the mana now. 2 lands, an Arcane Signet, Goldspan Dragon, and Korvold, Fey Cursed King. A Narset from our opponent, so one-sided wheels they're clearly going for. And a Read the Bones. So hopefully we're going to have a chance to get rid of the Narset here before it can do any real damage. They haven't ticked it down yet. They've got all the answers. That is a Swords to Plowshares onto the Ognis. Should still be able to get rid of that Narset though. There's more life that we can put into the Necropotence as well. Don't make any draws thanks to the Necropotence. Drop a land. And we'll play both of our haste creatures. Actually could have got down the Arcane Signet there first. Should have done that. Anyway, swing both of these in towards Narset. So down goes the Narset. We've got double mana on the treasure tokens, so I will play out the Arcane Signet here and we can hold up Plumb the Forbidden. Taking ourselves up to 7 more cards with the Necropotence. And that's a heroic intervention for us. A Cloud Blazer, gain 2, draw 2. So they'll actually gain 4 and draw 4 here, but they've only got 2 mana. Does come in tapped thanks to the Urabrask as well. Dropping a 3rd land in Command Tower. Then Oct will scry 1, draw them 2. And they just pass the turn like that, discarding lands again. We'll see if we can get down our commander here perhaps. So play out Ognis. And they decide to counter, an Arcane Denial will draw us 2 next turn, they draw 1. So Ognis back into the command zone, that's fine. We'll play out the Laelia here because we're going to have double mana on the treasures. We're always going to have access to Ognis if the mana keeps up, so I'd rather have that countered than the stuff that's in our hand. Attack in with everything. Goldspan Dragon makes us a treasure. The Laelia will exile off the top, and that exiles us a land, so we've already got one of those. Our opponent goes down to 9. Oh, I actually forgot about the combo. We've got a combo here with Laelia. We could have exiled enough cards off the top of our library to kill off our opponent there. So that's what I should have done. Anyway, exile 2 cards off the top. 2+ counters go on the Laelia. And we just draw into a couple of lands, still holding up the Heroic Intervention. We'll draw 2 more to the Arcane Signet. And we draw into Marionette Master, a Sol Ring. We've got the Mad Rush Cyclops as well. A Mana Crypt. Getting their Queza into play again. Does enter tapped. And then CMDR Boral's Expertise. So they're trying to bounce all of our creatures. I think that's fine to go for Heroic Intervention here, because that will give all of our stuff hexproof. They do get bolted by the Goldspan Dragon because they're targeting. Or I should say they don't get bolted, the treasure token is replaced immediately. So we'll play out a Sulphurous Springs, play the Sol Ring. Alright, and our opponent scoops there. I was going to draw a couple more cards to the Knight's Whisper. We were not going to draw into removal. The plan was there to try and get the Laelia past, but we wouldn't have been able to. They should have been chump blocking with that. And we would have hit them for 8. And then we had another haste creature to go wide on them anyway, so we win regardless. I think that was a pretty fun and interactive Ognis game, more interactive than they usually are. If you enjoyed it, then be sure to leave it a thumbs up and subscribe. Consider donating on Patreon as well, like a couple of you do already. Massive thank you to those patrons. I'm tribalkai. Thank you for watching.